These videos were created for you to watch along. They'll teach you about client tracks so you know what's going on. So best of luck with all of your data. Now here's your HMIS system administrator.
Hi everyone. In this video we're going to cover some additional assessments that are in the workflow for different federal partners. The goal of this is to show you some of the additional required assessments that are going to be outside what you've seen in the full intake video. So we're going to just go through the different federal programs and highlight some of the key ones. So first we're going to look at this Ssvf enrollment. So the VA has several assessments that are going to be just required for Ssvf funded projects. So if you are trying to input data for Ssvf and you are not seeing the assessments I'm showing you, please submit a ticket so we can double check the setup data. So here on the Universal Data Assessment you should see that, no problem. The Veterans Details, this is where you can mark what branch, discharge status, as well as if there are any special operations, not special operations, but any theater of operations of interest, such as New Dawn, Iraqi Freedom, or Enduring Freedom. If you're entering into prevention, so that's Category 1, you will have your HP targeting criteria assessment that you have to input here. As well as for Ssvf, you'll have to input the use of other crisis services. Last, you'll have to input education assessment for your Ssvf clients as well. So that's for the VA Ssvf projects. If we look at RRH, I'll take you through this basic center program. Your BCP projects, you'll always have a emergency shelter and a prevention component. In this case, we'll just go through the ES project enrollment that I did. And to go through this workflow, I chose RRH project data intake. To get this, I'm just going through the edit version. Universal data, nothing new there. You have the BCP status, whether or not they enrolled. For barriers, you'll have actually one fewer, so that's why, again, you want to make sure to check RRH project entry. The employment assessment is something else that's specific to RRH. You'll have your education assessment, health assessment, as well as referral source, commercial labor and sex exploitation, and the critical issues list will be on this one assessment here, as well as asking if the client's ever been a ward of the juvenile justice or the child welfare system. And then at exit, there'll be an additional one I won't show you here, but it's aftercare planning, so whether or not you did any type of aftercare activities for them. Next is going to be for PATH. Again, this could be either a street outreach or a supportive services project. So get through this here really quick. One thing to note on PATH, project entry date, that is your date of first contact with a client. Your date of engagement is the date of a deliberate client assessment. This could also be the date that the client signed on to a case plan. And then the date PATH status determined, that is the date of the federal program enrollment into the PATH program. As long as they became enrolled in PATH, yes. So whenever you read on federal documentation, whether or not they are enrolled in PATH, you're looking at this date right here, the date PATH status determined. You have your universal data assessment, connection with SOAR, whether or not the client's connected with SOAR. You have additional barrier details. So here you have Also asking, in addition to the normal ones that you see, how it's confirmed and whether or not it's a serious mental illness. And you still have your income and your contact that you're logging there. Last one that we'll go through for the workflow assessments, it's going to be HOPWA. So here we have someone in the short-term rental mortgage utility assistance project. Universal data, same thing there. For barriers in HOPWA projects, you need to make sure that your client has identified HIV/AIDS as a barrier, because that's what triggers behind the scenes some of the additional assessments. So you have your medical assistance, whether or not they're receiving a specific type of medical assistance, as well as a T-cell and viral load count. So those are your assessments and the workflow that you'll see. For some of these federal programs, you also have required services to log. And in those, you'll just need to go by path, and the grant. Those should come up automatically for you. So for your HOPWA grants, you have your HOPWA services. Same thing for path. You have your path services, and you have your RRH services as well. Your different RRH services here. And same thing for Ssvf. You'll have your other services, both TFA and non-TFA. For path and RRH, you'll also have referrals to log, and again, those are just going to be based off of organizational access. So you can see the prefixed path referral or RRH referral that you'll need to log. For any more detail, you can always go to this logging the service and logging the referral videos we also have.